everybody, it's Cheri Dotterer here at Tier 1 Interventions Podcast. I'm here today with Jonily Zupancic, and we are in class today with a live group of ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let Jonily talk, and if there's any intervention that I want to add to the puzzle, we will do. But for now, I'm signing it all over to Jonily, and let us learn a little bit about mathematics, girl.
Y'all, this is Jay-Z. I'm Jonily Zupancic. I'm your math specialist, your main mathineer. If you are a general classroom teacher, a special ed teacher, a parent, a school board member, a superintendent, a curriculum director, a principal, every stakeholder should be involved in the qualities of a strong Tier 1 general classroom environment and the experiences that students are going to have. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the kickoff of this school year. This school year is starting. I'm not sure if you're aware, maybe I'm here to break the news to you, but the 2025-2026 school year is here. But no worries, because I have been planning your math lessons all summer long. And today I'm going to give you the behind the scenes of what has already been planned. And through each of our Saturday Maths this year, I will talk about how those plans are being implemented. So good morning and welcome to Saturday Math. This is our free 90-minute event once a month. And we are just starting this school year's sessions. I literally have been working for 2 solid months on the lesson plans that we are going to bring to you this school year. So I'm going to take us back to what we need to think about to kick off the school year. What are the absolute essentials? And as I do that, I want to let you know that I am implementing all of these plans this year. Every year, I partner with certain grade levels and teachers and certain schools. So each year, I have the opportunity to actually implement plans in certain grade levels. So this is my this year partner grade levels. Dun, 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 dun. Nobody knows this yet. This is all new. And if you're new, everything's new today. So welcome if this is your first time with us. You haven't missed anything except the last 7 years of growing mathematically. No, just kidding. Hey, everybody starts today, day one. This is day one. So I am here to reveal to you which grade levels I am partnering with this year, that I will actually be teaching the lessons that I'm going to share with you. And they are, I still need my notes because it's not all in there yet. So this year, I am heavily focused on collaborating and partnering and implementing our math model in grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. So that's easy to remember, 2, 3, 4. Grade 8, Algebra I, and Algebra II. Now, for some of you, you're gonna think Algebra II is way beyond. However, what I teach on was all developed, even for K1, 2. Everything that I teach on was developed as essential outcomes necessary for success in Algebra 2. So what's really exciting this year is I will be implementing at the Algebra 2 level as well. So those are my personal grade levels this year: 2, 3, 4, 8 Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. Our certified coaches are covering grade 1 and grade 6. So in grade 1 and grade 6, those have been implemented for years. They will add some tweaks this year that they will share and tell us about and show us and help us explore with them. But grade 1 and 6 are covered by our certified coaches. Krista, give us a wave. Krista is a longtime full implementer of this model at the grade 6 level. And her partner in crime, which is Natalie, couldn't be here today, is also 6th grade implementer. Fun story, Natalie, also certified coach with us, was Krista's student teacher a good, what, how many years ago now? 6? Oh my gosh, she's growing up. She's growing. She's not here today, but I will tell her about the recording. She's growing up. But Natalie was Krista's student teacher, and now they teach not at the same school, but in the same district, and they both teach 6th grade, and they have been heavy implementers of the model, which I'm going to share the pieces of the model today and the getting started guide for your kickoff to this school year. But Krista and Natalie heavy implement in grade 6. So you will see samples of that this year. And then Amy Garrison, our littles teacher. She's our littles teacher. She's been a grade 1 teacher, I think, her entire career. I don't know. I always forget. We should ask her. But I think she's taught grade 1 her entire career. And I think she is probably on year 26 or 27 at this point. So Amy Garrison is one of our certified coaches at grade.
She also taught kindergarten. Sorry to interrupt you.
Perfect. And so Amy is our heavy grade 1 implementer, and she will be bringing all of her secrets to you this year as well. So that's like the way back background. And the theme of the model is what I have here, and that is depth. So Saturday maths are a little different than like a textbook guide, or when you go to Teachers Pay Teachers and you grab these lessons and everything that just keeps you in survival mode. Like they're ready-made, ready to go. Different than if you like Google a task or an activity. So typically the textbook resources that we have, Teachers Pay Teachers, anything we find on the internet keeps us going. Not saying those things are bad. However, the way that I'm going to define them are shallow. Okay. So we talk about this mile wide, inch deep, and we never get the depth in our classrooms. There's a few reasons why we don't get the depth. And one of the reasons is these grab and go things that we do to keep our sanity that we're not going to stop doing because we have to teach multiple minutes a day for 180 some days. So our model, the Minds on Math model, is not intended to be 180 some days for all of your minutes every day. However, it creates more depth in less time. So filling those other days, we need those shallow, non-depth items. And I throw textbooks in there because textbooks are merely a checklist of what to teach. They do not come close to the depth of connections and associations of pure mathematics. So I want to set us up today for, take me 2 months back in June when I started really heavy planning for this year based on all of my previous years, but really starting from scratch this year. These are the things that I'm thinking about as I'm putting my lessons together, is that extreme depth of the model and how we generate that depth, and just the difference between a depth planning and a shallow planning. A depth planning and a shallow planning. And then that's the difference between a deep lesson and a shallow lesson. And both are necessary. Like kids can't cognitively handle deep lessons every single day, every single minute. Okay, that's cognitive strain. So we need some like shallow, no-brainer, like things that are not deep to intermix with the depth. So as I'm thinking about the entire model in June and what I'm going to be implementing in August, I'm just verbalizing. I took a lot of notes this year in my planning because oftentimes I will show you these lesson plans that I have, But without the secrets of how they were developed and all of the thinking and decision making that happened before I show you the result of the product is all hidden. And then by the time I produce the product, I don't remember the thinking and decision making that went along the way to make that happen. So this year, I was very intentional at documenting. So as I'm thinking, as I'm planning, as I'm structuring, as I'm doing my whole process that I do every single year, I would pause and I would analyze, okay, what did I just do to get to this point? And that's what I'm going to give to you today. Plus, the practical, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of things that I'm going to be implementing like day 2, 3, 4. And you can walk away with that today. But it's really important to understand what goes through my mind or our certified coaches' minds as we're planning for the school year and take you behind the scenes to that. Because the goal is I want us all to think differently about how we plan and design our lessons. There's an art to it, there's a savviness to it, there's a structure to it. Here comes our first grade friend, Amy. Look at that girl. She's here. There's a structure to it. There's just an essence to it that you can't get in any publication or reading material. So that's what we are bringing to you. So depth is our theme of the model. And if I take a few steps back, and I had to analyze this year, there are actually different categories of math content that I select from, really on a weekly basis. Now, if Peter and the book Building Thinking Classrooms, he talks in that book about curricular tasks, non-curricular tasks, different types of tasks. This is what I'm talking about, but it's not for the task or the lesson. It's for the overall content that I need to cycle weekly. Now, this is even new if you're a certified coach or you're a regular, because I really went back and did some deep digging this summer as to really what these categories are. And I'm not sure if these are going to be solid or if they're going to stick, but these categories, as I was trying to think about this before I did any planning, and then as I was doing my planning of my slides and all of that concrete, like practical stuff, everything fit into these 4 categories. So I kept double checking myself. So the number one category that we need to visit weekly in our classrooms is number. And that's probably not going to come as a surprise to anyone. However, much of what I talk about, there are 2 types, and I'm going to do it this way. Number in its sense of number sense, which is a very conceptual, innate type of experience. And then number as in fact fluency, which is a much more algorithmic procedural type of experience. These 2 things are equally important. However, they are completely polar opposites. And the way that we have to think about improving number sense and fact fluency are 2 different types of thinking. And the way that we provide experiences in our classrooms to improve number sense and fact fluency are 2 different types of experiences. But bottom line is, number is a huge category that needs to be addressed weekly, whether it be through a lesson plan from the textbook, we integrate this into it, or a quick 6-minute stimulus or a quick 4-minute final class launch. So one category to build depth is number. The second is lots of experience with symbol that is not even at our grade level, symbol that is above our grade level. Because another part of engaging in really rich depth during the school year is giving kids lots of exposures without expectation of mastery. Lots of exposures without expectation of mastery. So symbol is the one way to give lots of exposures of things without the expectation of mastery. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So something like 2 to the negative 3. You wouldn't think I would show that to fourth graders, but I do, because I want them to be exposed to symbolic representation. Because the bottom line is exponents are repeated multiplication. So think about this. Exponents are repeated multiplication. And repeated multiplication, like repeated addition, is iterating. That's one of my favorite words. Iterating, iterations. Kids practicing iteration, meaning repetition of the same thing over and over again. Repeated multiplication, repeated addition are iterating. So repeated multiplication is exponent. Repeated addition is multiplication. That is a mastery at grade 3. So when our kids are, 8 years old. Repeated addition being symbolized as multiplication, really the mastery, the standards are at grade 3. So when we're at grade 3 and we're talking about repeated addition, hey, that's multiplication, and we want kids to master that at that level. First of all, at K1-2, we better be doing a lot with iteration and repeated addition. If we want the mastery of multiplication around about grade 3, 4, then at K1-2, we need to have lots of exposures of multiplication symbol. So for example, 4 times 5. Multiplication can be symbolized with parentheses or a dot or an X or lots of ways. At K1-2, we want to be exposing this symbol. And the way that we're going to say this, to improve number, because really the way to improve symbol, or I'm sorry, let me say that the other way. The way to improve number is to focus on symbol. And the way to also improve number is our next category, and that is shape. So in order to understand symbol, we have to understand number. In order to understand number, we must understand shape. And again, I'm going to give you the practical, I'm going to show you a practical lesson on a slide deck today that is the result of this type of thinking planning. And you might say, I'm not sure I really care about this. And that's why we continue to have shallow teaching, because we're not focusing on the right pre-planning items. So let me go back to this multiplication and this symbol. I wanted to give you the other pieces there, but let me go back to this. So I need in kinder and grade 1 to be showing different symbols that mean multiplication.